You know, when God wakes you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're still up at 2:56 in the morning and he's talking to you about your ministry, it's important. Now, I sat here yesterday and I'm like, okay, I'm working on book number 9 of John Gill's to record for the blind. And I thought, well, I don't know anything about this book. I know I've read it, but I don't remember it. So let me go ahead and listen to Through the Bible on it. So I did, in the introductory to the book, really turned me off to the book. I was like, oh, this is going to be boring. And I really didn't get anything out of it. And he didn't, seem hype out about it or anything. And then I started to read John Gill's commentary, the exposition on it, the introduction. And I'm like, wait a second. This book would mean a whole lot more to me if I had lived through what the Jews were living through against their enemy. And this book was written by a prophet, and they were able to take comfort in God's promise to get rid of their enemy. Now I'm going to tell you something. I live in Detroit, and we turned this neighborhood around. We used to have bullets fly every 2 days. And we thought about putting up some sheets of 2x4s against the bedroom windows, or even moving the bedroom into the basement so that we wouldn't get killed or shot while trying to sleep at night. That's how rough this neighborhood was. It's called the Red Zone, 7 Mile and Gratiot area. Just absolute worst area. And we turned it around. We set up neighborhood watch because the police wouldn't come by. It was so dangerous and everything. Now you rarely ever hear shots fired. In the houses, there's not an empty one at all on the street. Well, if you would have told me that this soon-to-be paradise would have been interrupted with an irritant called a renter who rented a house across the street from me, and her full-grown boys, men, would be out in their trashy cars playing their stupid music at all hours of the night and morning, I wouldn't have believed it. Full-grown men, 30s, out in their trashy vehicle, playing music so loud while they're out there. Why are they out there? Selling drugs, listening to music, having their alone time? Who knows? Who cares? Music was so loud, it was penetrating my house. And the latest they played it was 3 in the morning, and the earliest they played it was 6 in the morning. Off and on, depending on whenever. If you'd have told me when I moved in this neighborhood that was going to happen, and that I would think about selling my house for less than what it's worth, just to get out of here, because it was so awful. And then if I'd had someone say to me, listen, God said that within 2 years that these people would be gone, I'd have taken comfort in it. I'd have held on and counted the days. Well, guess what? Recently, like in the last 6 weeks, that family moved out because their basement got flooded. They are having problems with the landlord and everything. And so they moved out, and all of a sudden, quick, and the neighborhood went back to normal. I would have taken comfort in that, big time. Big time. So here is Israel, giving this prophecy. Don't worry, I got you. I'm going to obliviate your enemy. I'm going to take care of them who's an irritant to you. And I'm going to take care of them, and I'm going to obliviate them. That was comfort to Israel, written 115 years or so before its time. So that would have meant that my great-great-grandfather would have gotten this prophecy and would have passed it on down to me. Like, don't sell out, don't move. God's going to take care of this, and he's going to take care of people who want your land. And mind you, these people were not next door. They were like over there, way over there. Well, don't sell your land. Don't worry. God's got you. And he did. And this was passed down from generation to generation for 115 years or so. And then when it happened, he obliviated them. Now that shows that a God that loves and cares for his children. Loves and cares. That is a love letter. I got this. In fact, I'm going to show you just how far in advance I'm going to take care of this. Don't worry, I'm watching you. 115 years or so. I'm watching you. I got this. I got you. Take comfort in knowing. That's how great this book is. I just want to let you know that this is a extreme love letter and proof to you and I that God knows what's going on in our lives way before we do. And he's got you. He knew what was going to happen way before you were born. Way before. And he's got you. So when you look at Naaman and you go through this book, and I want to thank you for your support, because these kind of insights I'm only sharing with my monthly supporters. I'm not sharing them on any place else, because you guys think enough about the Jesus' commission to spread the word to all lands that you're helping to do this. And this is a proven ministry. We're in every country and every island. And all my platforms, I have seen this be seen by over 20 million people easily. Easily. And I'm more than just YouTube. I want to thank you. I do ask that you continue praying that God lets me live, keeps my voice. You know, I did have that stroke last October of 2020. It did affect my voice for a month. That God would allow me to finish this whole Bible. So the blind, the illiterate, and the poor, those that are just plain busy, and those that want to have a seminary education but just can't. I'm telling you right now, John Gill, I've learned more from John Gill than I did 7 years in seminary. Yep, I've gone through 8 books already. We're on book 9. So stay tuned. Stay tuned, my friend, because this here is a book that I'm interested in finding out the rest. What is in here? And when I find stuff that God brings to me, no matter what time of day or night, I'm going to bring it to you and share with you the insights that God's given me, because you're like me. You want to spread this to the world, and you're helping to support it. Now, I know sometimes $5 a month can be not, you just don't have it. I know that. But when you do, you can. And I really appreciate you. And I really would like it if you could give me your name so I could go ahead and pray for you by name, even if it's 3:05 in the morning. So God bless you, and kick it with this book, because this book is, what an encouragement. And I never even thought about it. And through the Bible, it discouraged me to it. That's because he didn't live it. Dr. Vernon McGee, I tip my hat, because he, had cancer, and so do I. Excuse me. And it was because of him that I decided to get my doctorate degree. So praise God for that, and praise God for the ministry. I get a lot out of it. I do love it. I do love the program. I don't always agree with him, but yeah. Here's one that I definitely don't agree with him. Not a boring book. He just didn't live it like I'm living it. He didn't live it like Israel really lived it. So God bless, and have a wonderful time with God, even if it's 3:06 in the morning.